Thank you for tuning in to VNA News. You're watching the bulletins. Coming up next, we have your top stories.
President Trương Tấn Sang attends APEC's economic leaders meeting. Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng wraps up Q&A session with pledge to realize targets. Commercial banks move to raise competitiveness. Let's begin our bulletin with a continued coverage of activities by State President Trương Tấn Sang, who is in Manila, the Philippines, to attend the 23rd Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Economic Leaders Meeting. On the morning of November 18th, the APEC Economic Leaders Meeting officially opened in Manila. President Trương Tấn Sang joined 20 other leaders of member economies in the event. The Vietnamese delegation is expected to contribute to the 23rd meeting's key components, especially matters pertaining to economic connectivity, human resources development, food safety, and micro, small, and medium-sized businesses. Themed Building Inclusive Economies, Building a Better World, the event will focus on sustainable and inclusive growth, economic connectivity, multilateral trading systems, the promotion of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, and the creation of a resilient, sustainable community. On November 18th, State President Trương Tấn Sang attended the summit of the 12 member states involved in the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement on the sideline of the APEC leaders meeting. He affirmed that the conclusion of TPP and the formation of the ASEAN community are significant landmarks, creating momentum for growth, regional linkage, and contributing to promoting peace, cooperation, and sustainable development for APEC members and the entire Asia-Pacific region. President Sang asked all TPP members to continue tightening cooperation and support one another to sign, ratify, and implement the agreement as scheduled. Addressing the summit, U.S. President Barack Obama highly valued the determination and efforts by all members towards the finalization of the historical TPP agreement. After over 5 years of negotiation, President Obama stressed that this contributed to defining trade rules in Asia-Pacific for decades to come. The leaders adopted a joint declaration showing the 12 members' determination to accelerate the signing and ratification of the TPP in their states to enforce the agreement soon. On the occasion of the APEC Economic Leaders Meeting, State President Trương Tấn Sang met with his Peruvian counterpart Ollanta Humala. The two leaders expressed their delight at the growing cooperation and friendship between Vietnam and Peru. President Sang proposed both sides put the Intergovernmental Committee on Economic and Technical Cooperation into operation at an early date and conduct negotiations for signing a framework agreement on trade and investment. They agreed on experience exchanges to effectively implement TPP commitments once the agreement takes effect. The two leaders also affirmed they will continue to support each other and work closely to successfully host the upcoming APEC meetings, which will be held in Peru and Vietnam in 2016 and 2017, respectively. The same day, President Sang also met Malaysian President Najib Razak. He spoke highly of Malaysia's contributions to strengthening ASEAN solidarity and its key role in regional issues as ASEAN chair in 2015. Earlier, while receiving Liang Zhenjing, Chief Executive of Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, President Sang expressed his pleasure at the strong development in economics, trade, tourism, education, people-to-people exchange between the two sides, together with the development of the Vietnam-China Comprehensive Strategic Cooperative Partnership. He encouraged Hong Kong's enterprises to expand investment and business in Vietnam and to take advantage of opportunities brought in when the latter joins the ASEAN Economic Community, the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, and other free trade agreements. He also asked Hong Kong to soon remove its warning against travel to Vietnam. For his part, Liang Zhenjing said Hong Kong is investing in infrastructure to strengthen economic connection with Southeast Asia, including Vietnam. He affirmed Hong Kong will create favorable conditions on granting visa for Vietnamese citizens to visit and work in Hong Kong.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng pledged the government will work hard to realize targets set by the legislature for the 2015 as best as possible, gearing towards a GDP growth rate of more than 6.5%.
Prime Minister Dũng made the pledge while delivering a report clearing up issues that draw great concerns of National Assembly deputies and voters nationwide at the legislature's meeting in Hanoi on November 18th, the final day of the question-answer session. The Prime Minister reported that the country's socio-economic development in October and November continues to show positive signs. He said the government will promptly implement the legislature's resolutions on socio-economic development from the first days of next year. He also said in order to realize the socialist-oriented market economy, the government is completing suitable institutions, laws, mechanisms, and policies, developing modern and open markets of goods, service, financial, real estate, labor, and science technology in line with international commitments, while enhancing domestic productivity and internal strength. Responding to questions on the East Sea and national sovereignty and interest in the relationship with China, Prime Minister Dũng stressed the party and state's policies of doing the utmost to enhance the friendship and equal cooperation for mutual benefits and development in all areas with the neighboring country.
Chúng ta kiên quyết đấu tranh bảo vệ độc lập.
Vietnam resolutely protects its independence, sovereignty, territories, seas, islands, and national interests in accordance with the party's resolutions and the country's constitution and laws, as well as the UN Charter, international law, and regional commitments, especially the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea and the Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the East Sea. Socio-economic development should go in tandem with national defense and security protection and foreign relations, he stressed.
A Vietnamese diplomat said Vietnam needs cooperation, experience sharing, and policy consultation from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development in various fields for sustainable and inclusive growth fulfillment.
Vũ Quang Minh, Assistant to Foreign Minister and Head of the Department of Economic Affairs, made the remark at a seminar in Hanoi on November 18th, which discussed cooperation prospects between the two sides in spurring inclusive growth. Minh said Vietnam has coordinated with the organization in completing a report evaluating policies on agriculture, science and technology and investment. Participants also evaluated the outcomes of Vietnam-OECD cooperation from 2012 to 2015 and the prospects of the ties from 2016 to 2020. They also considered prioritized areas and activities that could help Vietnam reach sustainable and inclusive growth targets by 2020.
Banking and finance experts have voiced their solutions to boost the effectiveness and competitiveness of Vietnam's commercial banking system, particularly in retails.
The Vietnam Retail Banking Forum focuses on standards and initiatives to improve the effectiveness of retail banking service, develop a flexible and effective IT network, optimize the retail channel, and elevate trust with customers. Through these discussions, the forum aims to sharpen Vietnam's commercial bank's competitive edge, especially in the process of global integration.
There are about 6 to 7 factors involved when it comes to competitiveness: finance, technology, human, service quality, administration, and business culture. In order to develop our banking system, we need to improve on these factors in accordance with international standards.
According to experts, Vietnam's banking system has shown great improvements in recent years. However, it is still lagging behind a number of international banks in the region.
The national label for Vietnamese handicrafts, Vietcraft Excellence, was released in Hanoi on November 17th.
Chairman of the Vietnam Handicraft Exporters Association, Do Như Dinh, said originated from a grain production project to create livelihoods for needy communities in rural areas. The label promotes local products based their core value towards sustainability. To attain the accreditation, businesses need to fulfill 46 criteria related to both making and consumption processes. The accredited firms see greater chances to access the European market, to which Vietnam exports more than 550 million euros worth of handicrafts each year.
As many as 900 communes have yet to hand over their low-voltage grids to the Electricity of Vietnam Corporation, even though the deadline for the transfer is the end of this year.
The transfer of rural low-voltage electricity grids to the group will benefit local households, as they will get better electricity service with lower prices. Households no longer have to pay for additional services, such as electricity meter installations and fees for upgrading local grids. At present, local traders in these communes manage and sell electricity to residents. Therefore, rural households pay higher prices than those who buy electricity directly from the group's companies. Electricity prices in rural areas rise by 5% each year as instructed by the Prime Minister. However, the actual value of the increase makes the price gap between electricity sold by local traders and by the group larger every year. The Electricity of Vietnam has asked people's committees in these localities to speed up the transfer processes. Up to June this year, the Electricity of Vietnam has taken over the management of rural low-voltage grids in about 1,150 communes, accounting for 61.8% of the set target for the 2013-2015 period. At present, the group sells electricity directly to 1.3 million households in rural areas.
Nguyễn Du is one of the greatest poets of Vietnam and the world. He was recognized by UNESCO as a world cultural celebrity among 108 others in 2003. Various activities are being held nationwide to mark his 250th birth anniversary. Let's take a look.
A series of cultural activities will be held during the Country Tourism Week to commemorate poet Nguyễn Du, a world cultural figure in his homeland in the central province of Hà Tĩnh. These activities would run from November 20th to December 5th. Various movies and documentaries on the life of the poet and his greatest epic poem, Chuyện Kiều, The Tale of Kiều, will be screened across the province. An exhibition of literature works by Nguyễn Du and other noted local writers will be held in downtown Hà Tĩnh City. At a press conference on November 17, Deputy Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism Vương Duy Biên said that the ministry intends to further promote the Tale of Kiều both within the country and abroad. The project will give Vietnamese and foreigners a chance to approach the Tale of Kiều in new art forms, which may make it easier to remember the verses. The Tale of Kiều recounts the life, trials and tribulations of Thúy Kiều, a beautiful and talented young woman who had to sacrifice her love and life to save her family. It is a 3,254-line verse novel written in lục bát, the 6/8-word distinct meter, a traditional verse form of Vietnamese poetry. The story is very popular in Vietnam. Many people know the epic poem by heart, and it has been translated into 20 different languages, including French, Chinese, English, Russian, and Japanese.
And that has concluded our news bulletin. Thank you for your attention. For more information, please log on to our website at www.vietnamplus.vn. We'll see you soon.